Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Weekly Gains Podcast. My name is Clark Gaines, and I want to thank you so much for joining me on episode number 2. Today, we're talking about a Latin phrase. And this phrase, I've seen it written on people's shirts, it's on jewelry, tattoos. It's even the name of a gift shop at Walt Disney World. This phrase is Memento Mori. Now, some of you may know what that means, but if you don't, Memento Mori translates to remember, you must die. Now, I know what you're thinking. Clark, what the heck? We're talking about death on episode number 2? What's going on? It's insane. Why? What's the point? What are we getting at? This episode actually has more to do with life than death. You just got to hear me out here. So Memento Mori, where does that phrase come from? It comes from ancient Rome. Guys like Epictetus, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, these were Stoic philosophers. And they used this term in their writings and their lectures, their teachings to people. And it served as a reminder to not only them, but to everyone around them that they're mortal, that they won't live forever. Memento Mori also connects to ancient Rome in a totally different way. Rome had this tradition, and I find this very interesting. I actually learned about this like a month ago or something. But Rome had this tradition where every time their army would go out and they'd win a battle, they would come home and they would have this parade. You know, there'd be people out on the streets on either side of the road with roses and flowers. You know, they were high-fiving and celebrating and cheering and praising the name of the general who had just led the army to victory. In the middle of the street, there was a chariot, and in the chariot were 2 people. One was obviously the Roman general, and the second, riding shotgun, was this slave or this servant. And the slave had one singular job. It's very interesting. As they're going down the street, he would turn to the Roman general, lean into his ear, and he would whisper the words, Memento Mori, Memento Mori, Memento Mori. Now, I don't know who specifically created this tradition, but I'd have to imagine their goal was to keep these Roman generals grounded, to help keep things in perspective. It was a way of saying, hey, I know you're on the mountaintop now. I know you feel invincible. This is a great moment for you. Live it up. But understand, this won't last forever. You know, I think oftentimes we need that reminder. In the really good times in our life and the really bad times, in the mundane times, we need that reminder every once in a while that we are going to die. You know, the first time I really became aware of death was in middle school. 2 separate events. The first was in 6th grade. It was the first time I'd actually experienced death. My grandfather, Boyd Oots. I called him Grambo. Grambo, he was old in age. His organs were starting to fail him. We kind of saw the writing on the wall. And he passed in December of 2008. Grambo was an awesome person. I loved him, and I wish I could have more conversations with him right now. That will be the reality for me one day, but not right now. So that was really the first time I experienced death in my family. And it was hard. It was not easy. But I kind of learned about death in that experience. I feel like I still didn't fully grasp it. You know, I was only 6th grade. 2 years later, I was in 8th grade. And I was sitting in the classroom of a man named Dr. David Phillips. He was a teacher, an engineering teacher. Great guy. I love Dr. Phillips. Dr. Phillips, if you're listening, shout out to you. You're an awesome human being. I've always respected you. You are a man of integrity and someone I'd like to be when I grow up. I'm serious when I say that. Dr. Phillips, though, one day we were sitting in class and we veered away from talking about geodesic domes and we began to talk about death. Dr. Phillips, I would put all my money on it, does not remember saying this, but it stuck with me. He said, class, 10 out of 10 people die. 10 out of 10 people die. That started to marinate a little bit in my mind. At first, it didn't really hit me, but when I got home that night from school, I started replaying that in my mind. 10 out of 10 people die. And what I learned was, okay, well, that means everybody I see on TV, any actors or whatever, like athletes, they're all going to die. And then I started thinking, well, 10 out of 10 people, that also means like everybody I know, my friends, their families. Well, that means my family. That means my mom, my dad, my sister, my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins. And then it finally clicked. Wait a minute, 10 out of 10 people, that means me. I'm going to die. And I had this huge paradigm shift in 8th grade. I started seeing, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. At first, it shocked me. I mean, I was kind of fearful. Now, let me be clear. Up to that point, I knew I was going to die, but I didn't think about it. I didn't become aware of that. It's not something as a kid you're thinking about, or actively thinking about at least. Like, I'm just trying to walk down the hallway and not smell bad, right? Like, I'm trying to remember where I dropped my pencil in class. I'm worried about, hey, my basketball team, or hey, going home and playing Xbox. Like, I'm not worried about death. And so those words hit me. 10 out of 10 people will die. In 2013, a few years after that, I was in high school. I was a junior. And some of you may know this story. I lost one of my very best friends, Matt Walters. Matt was an amazing human being. He was a Renaissance man. He could play the guitar. He could wrestle. He played football. He loved music. Loved it. Any genre. He had a song picked out in any genre. Matt could conversate with literally anyone on planet Earth. I believe that fully. He's one of those people that just had this infectious personality. You couldn't help but smile around Matt Walters. Matt, though, in 2013, he died in a car accident. And it was really tough. Because in that year specifically, in that semester when he passed, we started talking about, hey, what's senior year going to look like? And then after that, where are we going to college? And we came up with this this grand master plan to go to the University of Georgia and to study landscape architecture. Go figure. But Matt and I, we were really good friends, and I'll never forget it, his visitation. Go to the funeral home. I remember the exact smell of the air freshener. I remember the carpet. It was like a blue or gray or something. I remember kind of the wood slat walls and the yellow wallpaper and the popcorn ceilings and all that. I remember weaving through each room. I mean, there's a huge line. It's a cold November night. And I knew eventually I was going to see one of my best friends in a casket. And as I got to the room where Matt was in, it literally felt like two magnets repelling each other. My body and the casket. I didn't want to get a step closer. Because I knew once I saw Matt not smiling, not laughing, not cutting up with somebody, when I saw him not breathing, death would become real to me, very real. What Dr. Phillips had said years prior, that meant Matt too. And that hurt. I saw Matt laying lifeless in a casket. And it sucked. As you can imagine, it's not fun. Life is so fragile. It was the very first time in my life that death felt real. And I made a decision after his funeral for myself to live with the utmost purpose and intention. I started to realize that I don't have that much time on earth. I don't. You don't. Our time here is very, very limited. And that situation made me all the more aware of that. Thank God, Matt Walters, though, he lived his life full of purpose and intention. He knew who Jesus Christ was. And right now, I can confidently say, Matt Walters is among Jesus Christ, walking with angels. He has a handshake with Jesus, and he's in eternity. Hallelujah. And that's the promise for us who put our faith in Jesus Christ. One of my favorite Psalms of the Bible, Psalms 90. It was written by Moses. This was the only known psalm to have been written by Moses. Psalm 90:12 says, "Teach us to number our days so that we may gain a heart of wisdom." And I love that. See, Moses was, he led the Israelites all throughout these deserts, and he saw a lot of death firsthand. He saw how quickly it came for some people. He saw how short life is for some people. And so Moses prayed to God, hey, God, essentially what this is saying is, God, give me an awareness that my time here is limited. Teach me to be a good steward of my time and my energy and my love and my money and my resources. Teach me, oh God, so that I may gain a heart of wisdom. I love that. He wasn't trying to make us panic, Moses. He was just asking God to help him see clearly his life. We number a lot of things. We number the steps we take in the day. You may do it on an iPhone or an Apple Watch or whatever. You may number your likes on Instagram or Facebook or your followers. You number, I do too, our money. We like money. We like when the number is high for our money, right? We number these things. We number our calories we eat in a day. But when's the last time you and we numbered our days? When's the last time that we saw an individual day as its own lifetime? Because I think if we start doing that, consciously thinking and becoming aware that our time here is limited, that we need to be urgent in what we say and we do, we're going to be better people. A little disclaimer too. Death sucks. It's awful. Nobody likes it. I hate it. I would imagine you probably do too in your own life. Death is not good. It was never part of God's original design. I don't like it, and you shouldn't either. We shouldn't just accept it, right? We should acknowledge it. We should respect it for what it is, but value our life and our time even more. So I'm not suggesting we obsess over death and we put skulls on our desks or anything. Like, you can if you want. I mean, it's your own prerogative, but I'm not going to do that. I do have a necklace. I'm wearing it right now. It says Memento Mori. It has a skull on it. And this is just enough of a reminder that, hey, I'm not going to just lash out in anger today because it's really not worth my time, right? Or, hey, my time is limited on this earth. I want to make sure that people in my life know that I love them and that I care about them and that I'm there for them. So pick something. I mean, take something and remind yourself every once in a while, hey, I'm going to die. Now, a Stoic, if you follow Stoicism, if you're new to it, A Stoic would say something like, hey, live now, like live right now, because this is all we've got. Like life's it. This is it. And I do involve myself in a lot of Stoic philosophy. I read about it. I study it. I think it aligns very well with the Bible in a lot of ways, not always, but in a lot of ways. But a Christian perspective on this is to say, live now, because now is just the beginning. So that's just a way of looking at it. Seneca, he was a Stoic. One of my all-time favorite quotes. This is something that if I were to get a tattoo, I would very strongly consider this phrase. This would be an option for sure. But don't worry, Mom. I'm not getting a tattoo. I'm deathly afraid of needles, so you don't have to worry about that. My mom is not really a tattoo person. But Seneca, Stoic philosopher, he said, the whole future lies in uncertainty. And I love the second half of this. He says, therefore, live immediately. What Seneca is saying is, hey, don't wait for the perfect conditions to arise. If you're anything like me, I get analysis paralysis. I'll look at a situation and analyze it so much where I don't take action. I want the perfect conditions to arise before I move and before I take action. What Seneca is saying is, hey, don't do that. Live now. He's not saying, hey, don't act irrationally, don't think, but don't get so caught up in your thoughts that you don't then take action. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions to arise. Love people now, build now, dream now, apologize now, exercise now. Take care of yourself. Take care of your body and your mind and your spirit. Take care of those things now. Take the bucket list trip now. Start living your life now. He's not saying, hey, live tomorrow or live 3 years ago. He's saying live immediately. And I love that so much. Yeah, and I mean, like, if I were to get a tattoo, it would literally just say live immediately. Once again, not doing it, but yeah, it's always an option, I guess. So just some food for thought for you guys. Once again, this is not to scare you. I'm not here to make you panic. I'm not here to make you dread the rest of your life because, oh man, death's at the end. No, this is just a wake-up call. This is a subtle reminder that you and I both will die eventually, one day. We don't know when. But in the meantime, be a good steward of your time, of your money, of your resources, of your energy, of your love, of your forgiveness. Be a good steward. So this week's challenge for you, it's really interesting. I'm serious. Some of you may not see this coming. This first challenge is kind of weird, but it's very powerful. This week, you and we're going to visit a graveyard. I'm being serious here. I want you to take about 10 minutes. Just drive to your local cemetery or graveyard, 10 minutes. And what I want you to do is just walk around and look at the gravestones. Look at when people were born, when they died. Look at the gap. Was it big? Was it small? Read the names. Read the scripture on gravestones. Look at how it's decorated. And as you walk, I want you to think about what lies underneath all that gravel. I want you to think about people, and they had these $1 million ideas, these unspoken apologies, these unfinished plans, these unrealized dreams. Think about those things as you kind of meander. Be respectful, but just walk around and look and take it in for a minute. Now, once again, I'm not here to depress you. Okay, I know graveyards are generally not a great, warming, welcoming place to go. I understand that. This is to wake you up. This challenge is to make you aware that your time here is limited on earth. If you're listening to this episode, it means you aren't dead yet. you still have time and opportunities to do the things in your life that you should do and you know to do. If you're a Christian, this means you still have time to share the gospel of Jesus Christ with someone. It means you need to share love. You need to be a peacemaker. You have time. You have opportunities. Be aware of that this week. So yeah, I'm challenging you guys. If you go and do this, I want you to take a picture. It doesn't have to be a selfie or anything, right? Like, don't be disrespectful there. You can if you want to take a selfie, but show me that you're there. And what I want you to do is you can either DM me on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. Send me a picture. I'd love to see that you completed this challenge. Or better yet, you could join Gaining Ground, our exclusive Facebook group for the weekly gains on Facebook. And you can share your win there. Show us that you went to a graveyard. Show us that you kind of took in this week's episode. And I think that'd be really cool. That group is already growing. I've already let in a good many people so far. And I'm really excited to grow this group with you guys and share all of our wins, all of our struggles, new ideas, paradigm shifts, whatnot, and take on these challenges together with you guys. I'm really, really excited about that. So if you're not in Gaining Ground yet, go to Facebook right quick. Search it, Gaining Ground, and click Join Group. I'll let you in, and it'll be great. So I'll leave you with this. This comes from the Bible. 1 Corinthians 15, it says, "Where, O death, is your victory? Where, O death, is your sting?" And what I want you to understand this week is that Jesus Christ, he defeated death at the cross. He then was resurrected 3 days later so that you and I, we can be made perfect through him, through his perfect sacrifice. We can be righteous before an almighty, holy God. He paid the price. No other religion can say that. No other religion's God came to earth, 1, 2, sacrificed himself on behalf of our wrongdoing. That's how much Jesus Christ loves you and I. Thankfully, this life is not all there is. On the other side of death is eternity, and it awaits all of us. So I want you to really ask yourself, where does my eternity lie? Do I want to be with Jesus? Do I want to be apart from Jesus? Ultimately, that's your decision. That's my decision. He loves us so much that he will let us choose. But it's a free gift. Jesus Christ, he loves you. He loves me. I'm very thankful. I'm not going to stop sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ on this podcast at all. Not ashamed of the gospel, folks. So yes, visit the graveyard. I want it to stir something in you. I want it to kind of make you feel a little uneasy, because that's what death does. It sucks. But don't leave there hopeless. I want you to be awake. I want you to leave awake. And let this episode serve as a reminder that you don't have forever. I don't have forever. But we do have today. So thanks again for being here. My name's Clark Gaines. This was the Weekly Gains, and I'll see you next Monday.